Welcome back. The use of maps has gone through various stages of technological development. For instance, Google Maps, one of the most widely used digital map service, has helped millions of people across the world with finding directions. Although the map service delivers good results in terms of real-time navigation service from one point to another, some people, the tech digital guys at that, still think a lot needs to be done to improve the map services. Well, joining us on the show to discuss ways of maximizing the use of map services is the co-founder, Road Preppers, Samuel Odelue. Thanks for joining us, Samuel.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Samuel, are you one of those dissatisfied with present-day digital maps?
I didn't get that.
I said, are you one of those who are dissatisfied with the present use of digital maps?
Well, no, I'm not one of those. It just happened to be a case of seeing a huge problem in society and the need to actually solve it.
Well, what are the challenges you've experienced using them, especially here in Nigeria?
Okay, so for instance now, in Nigeria is one of those kind of societies where you have highly segmented transportation systems. And by that, this is what I mean, you have various modes of transport, and it's typically individually owned. You have various routes in which you can get from point A to B. But the thing is, as opposed to other, first world countries, where people, the government is actually pretty much responsible for the planning of how to get from A to B. The case is not the same here in Nigeria. And even if you look at Ghana or other similar countries, it's usually very hard. It's the case of, if I'm a newcomer or a new immigrant into a city, chances are I wouldn't know how to get from point A to point B, or even how much it would cost me there. Sometimes most of the time it's more, if I'm a locale in that environment, I will know how much it's going to cost me to get to my workplace, or what kind of mode of transit I need to go to, need to get to where I need to go to. But you see those same guys, if you take us to locale, or someone who knows, someone that gave birth to Lagos all his life, if you take him some 20 kilometers away from where he was grown, or where he knew, or where he knows, you end up groping in the dark for directions as well. So it's a huge problem around here in Africa. For instance, now if I was to come over, if Channels TV was somewhere in Ikeja and I was living in Badagry, there's no way, even with your Google Maps and the rest of that, you can't set your mind. There's no one repository for directions, and this is actually it's a huge problem. Transportation it's more like the bloodline of any stable economy. So if people cannot get from point A to B seamlessly, if this marketman cannot know, okay, how do I get to this place, or how do I move this good from this place to the other place, it becomes more of a very huge problem. So we said, how can we make it very easy for people to plan, to commute, and then connect on the trips? Just pretty much some of the things we're trying to do here. And the challenges with that is most times, you know how it is, because you don't have one single place where you can get all this data. You actually have to go on the street.
Well, Samuel, how would you rate the level of awareness of using Google Maps in this part of the world?
In this part of the world, I'll probably say I can't give an exact figure, but I'll probably say that number is a bit low. It's usually more with the people who are educated, and the tech savvy, and even with the tech savvy at times, it's not every tech savvy person per se. They actually is very convinced in how to use Google Maps. But you see the problem with Google, I wouldn't say the problem with Google Maps per se, but in this part of Africa or Nigeria per se, we have about 80% of people who rely on public transport. Not to say you have no public transport vehicles out there on the road, but it just means you have more people relying on this stuff, and people who actually need this service can't get this service on Google Maps. For the most part of it, Google Maps gives you just driving directions. So what about the people who actually have to take the public transit there? So for most of them, they just, it's more driving. So most people say something like, consign me, so let me just stay away from Google Maps there. But this is one of the reasons which we're trying to do, for both people who want to drive and people who want to take the public transport. Can you have one platform where you can get everything all unified without having to say, okay, this one is for driving, that one is for public transport? So that's pretty much some of the things we're also trying to do with Road Preppers. making it very easy for people to just get from point A to point B seamlessly.
All right, thank you very much, Samuel, for your time.
All right, thank you.
And that's it on today's program. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bisi Adebayo.